Welcome back to Lawyers and Libations, episode 6. I'm Sarah, and this is Rebecca.
Hello.
And we've survived another week of hell in our lives in Atlanta that we're here to talk about. So, welcome back to the show. Rebecca, how have you been?
Good. Kids' sports are over.
God.
Summer is here.
See, that must be nice. My daughter's soccer is not over. In fact, our season is supposed to end this weekend, but then we're supposed to be going to Florida in the middle of June, which was not on the schedule, but we got invited to a Super Copa, which is a big soccer invitation-only tournament.
Well, she is super good. My kids are decent athletes, but we're definitely not.
All of your kids are great athletes.
We're not summer athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Nor I think also because I've got 3 kids. So like absent like raising if somebody's like Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods level talent, like we don't do summer.
Well, you've got to divide and conquer.
Yeah,
you and Ryan
absolutely.
both have to handle 3 kids. I don't know how you do it. I wouldn't do it. I have to have an au pair for 1.
I mean, I love having 3 children, but I don't, unless you're organized and very energetic, I don't recommend it.
Rebecca actually does, in fact, have a calendar on her wall, and was it even a digital calendar at one point in time, or it was what are those things?
It's acrylic.
It's acrylic.
So Ryan and I are both very organized, but differently, shockingly.
She's not wrong.
And we're both type A, but we're both very different types of type A, and we could not make a digital calendar work for both of us. So I, against his wishes, got a giant
He was psyched.
poster-size acrylic calendar. And
Right in the
I redo
kitchen?
it. Yeah, it's in the kitchen. Everybody has a special color-coded marker. And at the beginning of the month, we sit and write down all of the activities. And if you don't tell me about your activity or it's not on the calendar, then
You
it
ain't
doesn't
going.
happen.
You're not going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go if it's convenient, but if it is not on the calendar,
I couldn't love
not
that
my
more. I think that's some solid work because you're not man on man when you're 3. They're basically just raising themselves at that point.
yeah, we don't have surprise activities.
Yeah, no. I don't have that, and I have 1. So thanks. It's the whole God gives you what you can handle type bullshit. I could handle 1, and she's like extraordinarily well behaved.
She is very well behaved.
She's very well behaved. So
In fact, we both, for our listeners, Sarah and I took one of my twins, who's a boy, and Sarah took Adeline to a Braves game recently.
so much fun.
So fun. But Adeline is like perfectly well behaved, eating her food, acting normal around adults.
Sitting quietly, looking people in the eye. We shake hands firmly.
I
Those
was
are the rules.
so impressed. Hunter shows up with a wad of like $400 that he made selling lemonade. He drops the money, and there's like money flying everywhere. And he's like shaking with excitement.
He was so excited.
He told people he was drunk on Sprite because he'd had 5 Sprites when I wasn't looking.
So
I
he was.
like,
I mean, he's an 11-year-old boy. Differences between 11-year-old boy and 11-year-old girls.
well, anything
Hayden.
Adeline's so hot.
And they're in love. Yeah, I know.
I noticed her makeup.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what she does. I knew there was a problem with Rebecca's son, Hunter, when Adeline asked if she could get mascara and put it on before she went over to Rebecca's house for dinner one night. And I was like, why, man? Because you're kind of like sporty, so why are you putting on mascara? And she's like, I just like mascara. I want my eyelashes to look pretty. Sure enough, then they ended up wrestling. I think she made him tap. She choked him out a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was a little overwhelmed.
He was.
But
And then he was in love.
Oh, yeah. He did not. When I asked if he wanted to go to the Braves game with Adeline, he was like,
Yeah. They're so cute. So anyway, they may be married in the future. I have no idea. I wouldn't be happier having anyone
fun
else
would
as an
that
in-law.
be?
That would be lovely.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing with summer now upon us? What are you doing with your children?
So everybody, I have a hard and fast rule that we don't lay around.
Okay, I like that.
Psycho mom.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
back in February, on February 1st, when the Atlanta camps opened up, shockingly again, had a large calendar and each was color coded and planned out and signed up for camps.
God, I couldn't love that
everybody
more
is in
about
camp every week this summer.
Are you going to the lake?
We do. Yep. So every summer we go up to northern Wisconsin
Yes.
to Ryan's family's lake house where we fish and
Eat cheese curds.
lots of fried cheese.
God,
curds
I want the
dipped in
cheese
ranch
curds.
dressing.
Yeah, it's fucking delicious.
So I've definitely feel like I'm a little heavier now than I prefer, but leading up to Wisconsin, I like to dip down about 10 pounds because while I'm there, all I do is eat and drink.
Here's the thing,
So,
though.
like-
I have seen some of the people from Wisconsin. Now, while I'm sure they're very hot and skinny people from here and there, if your diet consists of fried cheese curds and like heavy non-light beers, chances are you might be on the thicker side.
I mean,
I feel like you're killing it in Wisconsin, girl, on that lake all day long, nailing it.
Ryan's grandfather did say one year, 20 years ago, I did have this great purple bikini. And I remember I came up from the lake and he goes, they don't make girls like that up here in Wisconsin.
That was his grandfather? Jesus Christ.
So I was like, oh,
okay. Well, that's true. They don't. Thank you, guy, old man. Please stop doing
so we
that.
just go and eat and drink and catch big fish. And
I love that.
Super chill. So
that'll be so much fun.
Thing. What about you? I feel like you guys have a little European adventure.
We are. We are going to, Adeline and I alone are going to Mallorca. For 4 nights, which is right off the coast of Spain. It's like the big sister island to Ibiza, so I will not be going any with my 11-year-old daughter. That'd be highly inappropriate, so I will not be doing that. But we will be, I don't know, touring cathedrals and shit like that on Mallorca. And then,
should you get her a sitter one night so that you can do
I don't think so, no. I feel like, I'd probably end up missing or something, and would never come home. It's not a good idea. And then we will be in Portugal for 10 days. My dad and stepmom are coming over, and my 3 sisters will be there with their husbands or significant others, and then me and Adeline, my +1. So it's going to be so much fun. Yeah, I'm very excited. Be doing that. And then soccer tournament, and then Maine for like 4 days for my mom's 80th, and then I'm here for a month, and then I'm off to a dude ranch in Canada. I'm doing a week-long dude ranch in between Glacier National Park and Banff with Adeline for a week.
That'll be amazing.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm just going to hang out with the cowboys and ride horses.
Perfect.
Done. Super excited. So we also, summer marks for workers' comp, the day when new bills and information, legislative changes and things of that go into effect. Are there any is there any new legislation that has been passed this year that will go into effect in July for workers' comp clients?
Yes.
What is it?
Some great stuff. So I don't know if Sarah and I have talked about it before, but I'm on the Chairman's Advisory Council. So I help
on the legislative committee, which is actually the most important committee of the Advisory Council.
So we work on new legislation. And so what happens is we have to reach an agreement with different attorneys on the other side, so defense attorneys and
called compromise.
The insurance industry all come up with new legislation that we think will benefit the comp system as a whole. And so fortunately this year we have 2 kind of big changes. The one that we'll see probably the quickest impact of is we increase the maximum weekly compensation rates, the most you can get a week if you're injured, to $800.
Shut up. That's great news. Couldn't be happier.
Still one of the lowest in the country, but it's
second lowest.
Kind of track with 2/3 of the statewide average weekly wage, which is always our goal, is to keep it around that amount. So that's like the major change that people and that our clients will see immediately.
Now, that doesn't actually affect anybody who's already suffered a work-related injury. It's just people that are hurt after July 1st, correct?
Yes. So if you were injured on July 1st of 2023 or later,
and you are a high wage earner,
you are entitled to you may be entitled to the maximum compensation rate of $800 a week.
Loaded. Be so excited. You are killing it.
It's still not that much money.
Rolling around naked on the bed in dollar bills.
Right. Woo. But it's a huge improvement. And so we were really excited about that. And the other change, it'll be interesting to see how many people it affects, but not how the law was written, but how the courts had ruled on some cases, essentially found that if you were in a unmarried relationship with someone, so a meretricious relationship, and someone
boyfriend or girlfriend living
but not
with
married,
you.
We don't have common law marriage here.
Right.
But essentially living in sin, if you will.
Heaven forbid.
And your significant other died, that the person who was in the relationship was not entitled to dependency benefits, so essentially death benefits if their spouse died or significant other died on the job. And so we have changed that now that, if you're dependent, if you're financially dependent on someone, regardless of your
marital status,
regardless of whether or not you're living in sin, you can still file a claim for dependency. So it doesn't mean you're automatically entitled to benefits. You do have to prove that you were in fact dependent on the person that died.
For 90 days, right?
For 90 days or
minimum
more.
90
days. So it can't be like, I met this guy last night and he stayed at my place and then he died. So
Told
I get
me he
benefits.
loved me.
You have to be actually living together continuously in a relationship for 90 days and be able to prove dependence.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that was actually there was a problem with, and they had an equal protection problem, correct? In the sense that when the Supreme Court came down and legitimated gay marriage,
Yes.
then because our legislation actually said a man and woman, correct?
It referenced people of the opposite sex.
Of the
in
opposite
relationships.
sex.
Yeah.
That was it. So that's all been fixed.
It's all been fixed.
And it's increased the amount as well, correct?
So those are the major changes. There are a couple of other like little tiny like housekeeping word changes, but those are the two that took a lot of time and there was a lot of discussion.
Did take a lot of time and there was a lot of discussion. So I am not only the president of the Workers' Comp Claimants Lawyers Bar, but I'm also the head of what's called Liaison, which is a small group that kind of binds our Workers' Comp Lawyers Board. We develop our positions and it kind of binds them, and then we send our people into the Chairman's Advisory Committee to argue our side. And so, yeah, it took an inordinate amount of time this time.
It was a lot.
It
a lot of
was
time at the Capitol,
absurd.
you know. And it is fun. I mean, certainly.
Because you're making large-scale changes that can actually help the most people.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
And it's hard. You can't do it. You can't change things because of like a specific scenario, because when you change legislation, you don't know.
Across
It's going
the
to
board.
impact people for years, and like a little word or a comma here or there can make a big difference. And
Don't put a random semicolon somewhere. You'll screw
people
everybody
crazy.
up. Yeah.
So we're super excited. So
Well, and the amount of, I will say, for our position, generally speaking, when I talk to our clients, whenever they first come in, I say, listen, the workers' comp system sucks in Georgia, okay? Mainly, the redder the state, the more employer-insurer friendly it is, right? From the governor down to the director of the state board, chairman, to, again, the judges that are at the state board that hear your case. So the fact that these changes occurred and they do benefit injured workers, it does take significant compromise, because we all have fantastic ideas of how the system should be fixed and what we could do, especially on individual case by case. But I'm very proud of you for the work that you put in on that.
thank you.
Well done, girl.
It's very fun. Thanks for your support.
Yes, I'm here for you always. So anything else that is coming down the pike that you see right now?
Not really. I mean, I feel like kind of summertime in Atlanta, everything chills out for a little bit. So I'm looking forward to, catching up on some cases. And
We have auto torts.
we do have auto torts at the end of July down in Charleston.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Grounds. Yeah.
So auto torts is where all the personal injury lawyers go that handle motor vehicle accidents. On the plaintiff side, get together and go to a couple days worth of seminars and participate in antics.
Yep. But most importantly, we go so we can be better lawyers.
Absolutely,
fun.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree
Work
more.
hard, play hard.
Yes. So today on the show, which we will have in just a few minutes, is we are having our lovely friend Alvaro, who is one of the number one law firm marketing management consultant people literally in the country. He has an amazing firm called 3A Law Management. And he, again, has clients all over the country that he helps them grow their practices, whether it be from referral sources or partnership agreements or how to get more clients to the table. So we will be having him in just a few moments. I have no idea what drink he's bringing us. I probably should be alarmed because I've known Alvaro for a while. So we'll see what kind of shenanigans he has. But we are thrilled to be having him. So we will be back in just a few moments. Welcome back. We have Alvaro.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome, Alvaro. So the reason why I didn't say his last name in the opening is because I always get very confused of how to say his last
It's just
name.
uncomfortable sometimes.
Okay, go ahead and say it.
arouse.
It's arouse.
But it's not spelled like
No,
it's
think of
arouse.
It's ARAUZ as opposed to AROUSE.
Okay.
So it's
all right.
arouse.
But it's still arouse.
It's arouse.
Arouse.
Alvaro arouse.
So Alvaro Arouse is here joining us. He is one of our favorites on the planet as far as human beings go. He's a lovely person, and he's extraordinarily talented with what he does. So can you please tell me? Oh, well, first,
cocktails
I want to know
first.
what kind of cocktail
yeah,
you
there we
brought.
go.
Sorry,
All right.
sorry.
Where's our libation?
Priority.
Yeah, libation point. What is it?
Lawyers. So I try to find a commonality. And so, we like golf and in town.
We do, yeah.
And so they have this drink on the menu called a lavender haze.
Ooh.
And I've been following your episodes.
Is that like
and
Taylor Swift,
It does
Lavender
sound like
Haze?
Taylor
It is. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's a
Love that.
song, but I
It
didn't
is.
go to the
It's so
concert.
good. I
didn't
did,
go.
I did,
missed
I
it.
Very
did.
good song.
So I thought it was thematic all around.
That was well done.
So
What's in it?
it's got gin.
Okay.
So I know gin kind of. I know we don't
like
want to
gin.
fight.
I look like
We don't want to fight girls or boys.
No, we're not fighting
or
anyone.
taking
We're
clothes off.
lovers.
I've
We're
seen
not
the other
fighters.
episodes.
Yes.
No, so this has Saint Germain.
It's delicious.
Empress gin.
Okay.
A little bit
Her
of simple
favorite?
Empress
syrup.
gin.
I always
Yeah.
give that to her as a present, so you're doing
Yeah.
well so far.
And a little bit of lemon. And so I brought you each a little.
Yes, I'm so excited. Okay, well,
carafe
let's
and-
try
and
this.
drink.
I
Perfect.
can't believe you brought a carafe. Oh, and
I
look.
know, to keep it
amazing.
cool.
And these are in-town golf
See?
cups, which
Perfect.
are amazing.
Thematic.
So we're members at In-Town Golf, which is a lovely little private golf club right in the middle of. What are you doing?
And they're purple.
Oh, and they're
so-
gorgeous.
I
You
love
know,
that.
It almost matches our
See?
It does.
lettering and everything. I mean, you're nailing the theme.
So
Let's try it.
I will say, In-Town is a great
it
place
smells
if it's
delicious.
raining and stuff in Atlanta. It's got like 10 bays with those. This is beautiful drink. It's
Yeah.
the fanciest drink we've had
There we
yet.
go.
I know.
Yeah, I've
I'm
seen
sure
the
as soon
others.
as you get it. But it's fun. A lot of our friends are members there, and it's great for if it's raining, you can still go work on your shot. Or on the weekends, you can take your kids and have brunch.
Or marketing.
I
with
mean,
other
it's
lawyers.
very great for marketing with
That's why I
anyone.
go. I don't really
Yeah.
play golf, but
I've
I
played
go
golf
there
with
for
you actually
clients.
many times. He continues to beat me. I'm
Cheers.
not pleased.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
all right.
Cheers.
Thanks for being with us.
Well,
love you.
absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. All right, so let me try it.
A little bit different, but here we go.
Oh, I
It's
love
actually
it.
delicious. It's got like a rose petal kind of hint,
You know.
but
It's like trouble.
it's
Yeah,
strong as
it is.
shit. Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah. So that's the other thing.
My favorite kind of
Only
drink.
try to have
woof.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we don't
It's
want to have
not
more
like-
than one.
You
No.
could, but she might go to Johnny's.
She would. She would absolutely.
Yeah.
go to John's.
I haven't been since
It's
Christmas,
gin.
I don't think.
So
Since
one of
you
the
lost
first.
your wallet.
Yeah, she did lose her
I know.
wallet. But well, actually, one of the first times that I hung out with Rebecca, whenever she started working with me, she had told me that gin was her kryptonite.
Yeah.
that we
It is.
couldn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, tequila has different effects on people, but gin, that'll get her
Yeah.
every time.
I think that was
Makes me
episode
fall in love.
2.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
She does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
it's
and it's purple. so
and
here
it's
we go.
purple.
I mean,
it's so
So-
pretty. You
Perfect.
did really
Salute.
well. Thank you
you.
so much. Salute. So, tell me a little bit about what your company does.
So, since 26 years, 1997, I've worked with lawyers.
We're really fucking old, by
I
the
know,
way.
I know. But we
How
look
old are you?
Great.
Can I
49.
You look great for 49.
wrinkles?
Likewise.
Fucking none.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Bottle that up.
I know, right? I'm like, what happened? I thought we were like, I thought when you're.
Well,
so,
I eat hard-boiled eggs without salt, like
there you go.
Katarina.
There you go.
You know what? Hey,
I
I'm
live
willing to
an
try it if I can look like her.
drug-free lifestyle.
Correct.
and Just drink a lot of water.
I do. I get a lot of sleep.
Yes.
Yes.
yes, so
I
much sleep.
exercise. No, so I help lawyers. We do all practice areas, 44 states, 13 countries, and it's regardless of the size, location, practice area, it's one of three issues. It's either an operation issue, which is highest and best use of time. What do I delegate? I work too much. When do I hire? What report do I run? How do I know if this person's doing a good job? It's essentially how you run the practice. Technology, which will automate your practice and kind of get you the information you need, make you more efficient. You can run more files.
Efficiency. Huge.
Efficiency, yeah. Communication.
That kills lawyers.
Yeah, and so when you know what you're doing operation-wise, you use technology, to speed it up. that frees up an extra 2 or 3 hours. And so you reinvest that time in marketing, strategic, but with logical decisions like, hey, I noticed that I make money if I buy this plaque, for $500. It brought me 20 cases and I made $50,000. I spent $50,000 on this plaque and it made me $0. I'm not going to spend, So it's just, helping lawyers, either start their practice, I'm going out on my own, or grow their practice. Yeah.
So you bring up a good point about those plaques. So I remember when I first started doing workers' comp and personal injury, like more on the personal injury side than workers' comp. There's not a whole lot of plaques in workers' comp, but in personal injury, there's a ton. There's like 10 best female lawyers in the entire world, or cutest lawyers in the entire, whatever the hell it may be, under 30, under
over
40, under fucking 50.
Under 50.
Yeah,
Never
so
stop.
it's all those things. Which, as lawyers, we all look at each other and silently, or in my case, very openly, make fun of each other for it, right?
Correct.
But
the client doesn't know.
The client loves that shit. It's absurd. So if you pay, which you always have to pay for one of those awards, except super lawyers, you do not pay for that unless you want to be part of their advertising. Super lawyers is when you are nominated by your peers.
It's like the Daily Report.
It's like the Daily Report. It's lovely. So, which you make like number 1 every year in the Daily Report, actually.
2015.
Since 2015. You're fucking terrible at your job.
Yeah. That's all right.
He's terrible at his job. So that is nominated by your peers. But so that would be the super lawyers or the Daily Report best of. But these other ones that you put as little badges on your website and shit, which say you are the best lawyer east of the Mississippi, you fucking buy them and you put them there, and it's because clients will go to your website and they will look at it and they'll be like, God damn it, she is the best lawyer east of the Mississippi. I'm hiring her. And it's absurd. So we can all make fun of each other like together. But it's important to the clients.
It's important because it's like you're shopping on Amazon. Right. So you get 2 ways to get a client. They either Google you because they trust Google, right? Or
and the reviews.
And the reviews, right? Or they trust their friend who had a similar experience and had good result, right? So when you're dealing with the reviews or, from a referral, they're going to try to validate you. So when you're shopping on Amazon, right, are you going to buy a product that costs the same, that has 5,000, 5 stars, or are you going to get the one that with 2 reviews and 2 stars?
No,
and it's not cheaper.
And it's not cheaper.
And it's not cheaper because we're all the same.
Normally I'm like, this
is it
seems like
cheaper?
It's not even real.
All
it's like
lawyers are not the same, and clients don't know that. But perceptually, they think they are. And so it's like, hey, I got referred to you and I got referred to you, or I found you on Google and I found you on Google. You have all these pretty badges. You have all these great reviews. You don't have any. So that trust automatically goes. So you have to play the game. You just have to know how to play the game, because you'll get a lot of people try to solicit you $50,000 for a plaque.
Oh, fuck that.
But you'd be surprised.
All I want's the badge.
What is it? $299. I'll do $299 for a best of personal injury lawyers 2023.
But you'd be surprised. I have clients $35,000 a month.
No, they do not.
Yeah.
The fuck?
For years.
Who has that money?
Some of my clients.
Good grief. All right. Well, I will just be completely transparent. I don't have that money.
Yeah,
the $299, $399, I'm still irritated by.
I did get a good email last week about one of those, and I was like, this seems ridiculous, and I ignored it. But I guess I should maybe.
Wasn't
no,
35,000,
so I
was
must
it?
get I must get 2 or 3 emails a day from, hey, I just got this solicitation. Is it worth it? Hey, I just got this. Should I pay it? Right. And so I know from experience what to do and not to do. But the idea is to teach them to look at analytics and say, hey, I didn't get any cases from this. I'm not going to buy this.
So mine was, definitely not top lawyer in the state, but top 50 lawyers in the state.
Yeah.
So I should get that.
Absolutely.
Get that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right? Thank you. I was like, I didn't know
and Madam President. Yes.
I actually do think you're probably a top 50 lawyer in the state. 100%.
And if there's not a badge, we'll make one.
Yeah,
for you.
you should do that. 100%. So what would you recommend, Alvaro, if you had, let's do 3, I'm just going to limit it to 3 because I know there's 800 million things to help grow your practice. But give me your top 3 recommendations for personal injury or workers' comp plaintiffs, lawyers, or whoever it may be. Any law firm owner to help grow their practice so maybe they can work a little bit less.
Yeah, for sure. So that's, one of our taglines is, making you more profitable with working less hours, but you're also happier, right? You're not putting out bad energy, bad work product.
As an aside, he doesn't work on Fridays.
I don't work on
And he takes the entire fucking month of December off.
And your birthday's a paid day off.
Yeah, and your birthday's a paid day off.
Yeah.
But I would just like to say, he practices what he preaches, and he's figured out how to do it. So what is the special sauce? Give it to me.
So the first thing is, I guess try to do it in order, is figure out what makes you happy, and be careful what you wish for, because whatever you focus on is going to happen. So if you want to not work Fridays, if you want to make X amount of money, the first thing is being able to know what that is, because when you don't know what you're doing or what your direction is, everything's a shiny object.
You want a goal.
You want a goal.
And an intention.
And a measurable
Intention.
Correct. Right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is going to be follow your analytics, right? Because for me, I see patterns. And so when you see certain patterns consecutively, you can predict what's going to happen next. And so the analytics, if I go to lunch with this person, if I buy this plaque, if I hire this amount of people, if I do this practice, whatever the analytic is, pay attention to it.
Like if your radio ad, for example, gave you a 70% lift every time it came onto your website.
Yeah.
And you should probably keep
Correct.
running that ad.
Exactly.
You should.
Right? So, you're making logical decisions. You're not making emotional decisions, because the analytics, it's like, you know what to do. Otherwise, I have clients who are like, well, this guy has a billboard and these girls are on TV and whatever. It's like, quit trying to be like them.
Stop that.
Right?
You have to find your forte,
Find
your
goal,
special thing, and then go forward with it.
And then track the analytics. And I think the third thing would be is you just have to hustle. 90% is showing up. I always say success happens on Sundays. If you want to be mediocre, then don't bitch about being mediocre.
Do you know how many times I have? It's family members or friends that are not lawyers, right? That are not plaintiffs' lawyers anyway. That say to me when they'll call and we're talking about something, and I'm like, I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
My body is tired from this seminar plus this golf tournament plus these 3 happy hours in one night, right? And they say, well, you don't have to do that. It's fine. You should just go home and stay at home. And I was like, I know you don't understand what the fuck this entails, but if we are not out there, right?
It doesn't happen.
Visiting with people, marketing with people, somebody else is.
90% is showing up, 10% is follow up.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Correct.
So
Those
that's
cliches
why
are
you're
true.
there.
Part of the hustle.
But what you want to do is do it in different ways, right? Sometimes, because if they see you the same way with the same message, they get annoyed of you. They're blind to it. But if they see you at an event one day, and then they see you on social media on Tuesday, and then they saw your podcast on Wednesday,
and then we're talking at a seminar,
and then we're talking at a seminar on Thursday, right? And they're seeing you, they're just not the same way, so it doesn't beat them down. So when that opportunity comes, which nobody knows when it's going to happen, you're one of the first people they think of.
It's true. You have to hustle.
And I always say you're not going to be the only one, right?
No.
I just want to be part of the dog and pony show. Just make me one of the 3. I can stand up for myself, right? And let these guys fall apart, because I know, right? So I know what plaque to get. I know where to show up, right?
Yeah.
But I believe in me the same way you guys believe in yourselves. So just make me one of the 2 or 3 options.
And it's also, the more time you spend, I mean, there's lots of lawyers, but I would say probably 10 to 15% of them are good lawyers, right? I would say maybe 75% of lawyers are, I mean, actual complete narcissistic morons that you probably wouldn't want to handle your case in a difficult time for you or a family member, correct?
Correct. Nor are they my client.
Exactly. Nor are.
So my only rule of thumb is I don't work with assholes.
Yes, that's
Right?
true.
Yep.
That's kind of my rule of thumb too. I always say we can fire our clients if they disrespect
it's
our
just
staff or anything. We're out. We're done. But if we are ever present at a lot of these events, and then we're speaking and we're doing social media, you're doing all of those things that are necessary to get your face in front of people, and then you're a good fucking lawyer, it's kind of like the magical unicorn thing in the room. So if you just keep doing it, I always say, like, you do good work, good things will come.
It does, absolutely. Well, and I find, particularly with workers' comp clients, a lot of them aren't high-value cases, but if you treat people with
90% of them are not high-value cases.
My clients that I've been kind to that had like $5,000 and $10,000 cases, some of them are my biggest and best referral sources because
Absolutely.
I was nice to them at their lowest for something that I knew I wasn't going to make a lot of money out of. And literally every time somebody gets hurt, they're like, call
So
Rebecca.
this goes to the three things, right? One, do what you enjoy, right? So you would do this for free because you like helping people, even if it's a $5,000 case.
It's a karma case. We
It's
have
a
those all the
yeah,
time. One's like
right?
the point of the workers' comp system is for them to get medical treatment and income benefits to help them while they're injured and then get them the fuck back to work. That's the goal. But then we don't get paid. So I call it a karma case.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Get back to work. If you can get back to your life, better for all society.
And you enjoy doing it, right?
Yes.
So then that's the first one. The second one's analytics. You see that those are your best referral sources. And then the third one's the hustle.
Right.
You know that you got to keep doing those things.
Now, I'll tell you a piece of advice that I heard from you years ago that I use at home, back to one of your first points about, the highest and best use of your time. You said figure out your hourly rate and figure out if whatever it is that you're doing makes sense. And so I use that at home, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
If like folding laundry or doing different stuff, like if it's going to take away, if I am going to spend 2 hours folding laundry or doing stuff around the house that I could use
my au pair.
Correct. Yeah. So
I'm like, that you could use my au pair to do instead.
So I do that at CLEs. I speak about it. So I bill $500 an hour. It takes me, I live in 2.5 acres. I get stressed out working with lawyers, no offense.
None taken.
Having my own business, having 3 kids. Sometimes I'll just, get a lavender haze and put on some headphones
Yes, that's
and
my
ride
favorite.
my riding lawnmower. But it takes me 4 hours to mow 2.5 acres, and that's not edging and trimming. And so it's $2,000 for me to mow my lawn.
Wait a minute. Are you mowing your own lawn?
So sometimes, because when I'll get stressed out, I'm like, no, this is
fuck this. I'm just
right.
you want instant gratification.
So
I get that.
what I
It's a lovely
learned
feeling.
was that's not the best use of my time. I could spend 1 hour with my kids. I could spend 1 hour mountain biking, which relieves me. I could spend 1 hour marketing for future clients, and I can spend 1 hour billing a client. Should I spend my 4 hours, my $2,000 mowing my lawn, or should I reinvest that time and think about how I use my time and energy?
I love it.
And you'll make totally different decisions.
I did it. I actually put that to work last week. We were getting a dining room table, like this vintage table from North Carolina.
Stunning. I don't think it's
Gorgeous.
vintage. I think it's like legitimately antique.
Well, it is.
It's stunning.
It's
But
so
not
pretty.
Not West Elm.
Yeah,
No,
no,
God,
it's
no.
not.
It's like burled walnut.
That
She had it
sounds
refinished. It's fucking stunning.
But it was in Hickory, where my parents are. But in order to get it, my parents were supposed to drive it, and then they backed out on us. I got there's a lot
Little
going on
dicey.
here. Got a little complicated. And so then Ryan and I are going to have to take a day off of work, both of us, drive up, pack it up, and drive it back. And so not only would we both not work for a day, I would be paying for childcare and a truck. And so I was like, our hourly rate working does not make up for the hours missed.
Correct.
Hired somebody to do it for a hundredth
Fraction,
of what Ryan and I would have spent had we taken the day off. So, but I was like, well, Alvaro says.
Well, so the
as
math
part of
makes sense. The problem is not everyone actually reinvests the time.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I don't have to drive to Hickory
gonna
anymore.
nap.
I'm going to sleep in.
Right.
Right? Or
I
I'm
worked
gonna,
instead. It was a Monday.
No,
I was
but
like,
as long,
I knew I had a ton of
so
stuff
as
to do.
long
I was
as
like,
you
I need to work.
reinvest
I
that
feel
time.
personally attacked.
I love naps too. I love naps.
I need the naps.
They help
weird.
us.
Y'all are
They
so
help us.
strange.
Naps are amazing.
So, and another thing that I wanted to ask. So, you've obviously not always done that. This as a line of work. How many vaginas have you seen in your life from your work stuff?
Oh, so
Just to ask you in
So,
a
yeah.
really weird
So
way.
Right before I got into this, I was studying medicine to be a doctor
In South America.
in Brazil. Yeah.
See?
So I've delivered over 50 babies.
God, that's a lot of.
I
that's
didn't
a,
know that.
Yeah, see? Look, I mean, like,
that.
he is the most, he's one of the most, like, kind and caring and lovable and, like, real people you'll ever meet. So
But,
he's
yeah.
You can
great to
deliver
work
a
with.
baby.
Yeah.
He can deliver a baby.
So there, like,
I'm
there
not
it's
getting
like
pregnant
an
again.
apprenticeship, you know, whereas in the States, you've got to do all the textbook and then you get your residency. There, it's like you do your textbook and your residency simultaneously. So it's like,
So that's what he was going to
You-
do. He
yeah,
was going to
so-
be an OB.
yeah, so I worked.
fuck?
I worked
I know.
ER, I worked maternity, I worked oncology.
He's very calm under pressure.
Yeah.
Now, the OB that I had when I was pregnant with twins is outside of Ryan, the hottest guy that's ever seen me naked. You're very attractive. Like, I would imagine that would throw, like, Ryan was very thrown for a loop when he saw.
When he walked in, he was
Yeah, he
like,
goes-
God damn it, seriously?
I mean, this guy
when
was
she's
like
at her most
6'4",
vulnerable?
Like,
All right, so, yeah.
Look, super hunky.
Is he single?
So I
No.
was
No.
I was in my
I'd
younger 20s, and so if
Oh,
I look like this
yeah.
at 49,
Yeah.
I looked 15, and so they called me Doogie Howser.
Oh,
'Cause I
that's
still
cute.
look
I can
like a
see
kid.
that. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see you looking very childlike.
So I looked. They're like, "Who's this kid? Why is this teenager in here?"
I mean,
and he
just
was like,
imagine,
hold this clamp, damn
Hold
it.
this, like, yeah.
Would have been some feisty
Coming in
husbands when
with
you walk out.
forceps. I'm ripping
Yeah.
this child out of your womb. Deep
I
breath.
love that. So if on the off chance we're out and about and we see somebody, it's
Correct.
like,
I
go
don't.
into emergency
This
labor,
is
we
not.
need to get you.
Yeah, I don't like to do it.
No.
But you could.
I could.
So one of your biggest creeds is to send
Thank
like
you
a little
cards.
note or a
Handwritten
thank you card,
cards.
handwritten afterwards. That's like
Yep.
one of your biggest things.
Yep. So you want to do
Because you stay in their brain.
Yep. Every time you meet somebody, you want to do you want to put them in your database so that you can touch them later. You want to
Physically
or just it depends on how they rank.
Are they an 8 to a
Yeah,
10?
yeah. Then
Maybe.
that's a touch.
Yeah.
So that's a follow up.
That's a
right?
follow-up.
So
Follow
number
touch.
2 is
That's a
follow
lunch
up.
and
Okay.
drinks
Right?
Touch
When-
them,
minimum.
then
Do I
follow
touch
up.
them once a year? Do I touch them once a week?
It's a-
Right? But you want to mark some sort of follow up.
Okay.
You want to connect with them on social so that they see you out there. You want to
Do you
write them.
DM them?
I don't. But you.
If you're
which
Tom
is-
Brady,
But this
yes.
is number 4. You write them a handwritten thank you card.
So-
right, because everyone DMs, everyone texts.
I
Who
do love
gets
a handwritten
something
card.
in the
Fucking hate the
mailbox?
DMs.
Like when you were a kid, right? It's like to run to the mailbox and to get something.
Do you remember how we first met? Do you remember your first thank you card to me?
I wish I did. Right?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you. It said, damn you, Alvaro, and your pen.
Oh yeah. So that was at Auto Torts.
That was at Auto
Yep.
Torts.
Yeah. That was. Yeah.
So Alvaro and
I like hieroglyphics and calligraphy.
yes,
so
he
I
does.
have
He's
pens.
very good at
that I write
those
with.
pens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you
He's
remember what
very
you said about
handy.
me when you met me for the first
Yeah,
time?
that you were vanilla.
Oh God, he
I
did. He
was
called
like-
Rebecca
She
vanilla.
goes, no, Sarah's like, hey, I want you to meet this girl, Rebecca. I love her. I want to hire her. Like, let's meet. No, Johnny's. And so we meet. And I was like, dude, she's so
I
vanilla.
feel like she's a little
Maybe
vanilla. I
house.
go,
Yeah.
she knows every word to give me
Turns
that nut
around.
by
Yeah.
Easy E. She's not vanilla.
As it turns out, she's French vanilla.
thank you.
She's French.
Yeah, she's French
I'm glad I
vanilla.
turned you around.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
took a
she was
little bit.
she still hasn't gotten over that.
Yeah.
So we're clear. She's not pleased.
But yeah. But you write them like, yeah, you touch them, like handwritten card, DM them if you're. But then the 5th thing I think is the most important of them all. Introduce them to somebody that they need, because everyone's like, how can you help me? What can you send me? How can you help me? Who can you introduce?
My biggest
Fuck
question
that.
is always
I
what
help you?
kind of cases do you like?
Yeah.
What
Who
kind
can
of
I
cases
introduce you
can
to?
I send you?
And even if you don't know, like I don't do divorce, I used to do domestic, but I don't do domestic. Like maybe your next door neighbor is a therapist. And so that person needs to meet your next door neighbor.
Everybody knows
It doesn't-
everybody.
Yeah, like 80% of referrals come from a 2nd or 3rd degree. It's don't ever feel like I have to give that.
My therapist is now seeing 4 of my friends.
See?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I feel like I should get a kickback considering it's probably helping like a second mortgage or something on a different home.
But it helps. I mean, like, I'm a lawyer therapist a little bit.
Same. No,
Right?
you absolutely are. We're therapists to our clients.
We are. Sarah's trying to get me to get her therapist, but I was like, I feel like we're too closely connected.
I think I think we can get a group discount. We can throw all of our
there you
people
go.
in. But the good news
So I
is,
think she has a punch card. So every fifth person, she gets a
every
free
fifth
session.
person, I get a free session.
Like a subway card.
Or it could be like we could just sit down and I can be like, well, you know what happened this weekend already, so I don't have to waste my time talking about that.
I wonder if he's secretly writing a book and he's going to be like, these
My
are the craziest
employees
people I've
want
ever
me to
met.
write a book.
Oh, you
Right?
definitely
Oh
could,
my
I bet.
God. The secrets that I have. Like, I'm a vault. Right?
You are a vault. I agree.
Like,
I tell you everything.
So I'm 100% referral, right? So we don't advertise.
No, God, no. We don't need to.
But like, so I don't share secrets, but the employees know because they sit in on meetings, they take notes, and they're like, "You've got to. I cannot. You have to write a book when you're done." Like the
You should.
stories I've heard in 26.
Will you
years.
change everyone's names in
Yes,
said book?
of course he would.
Obviously, you're clearly Becca.
Well, cat's out of the bag for my college friend.
God, you're
And you're-
Becca.
and
They'd
you're
be like, I
Hera.
knew that
You're,
bitch was
you're
insane.
Sarah without an H.
Hera.
Very
Hera.
creative.
Yeah.
Rahasa.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
No, but I just finished a book.
Oh, what is it?
It's for practice management for
I'm like
lawyers.
reading
It's-
or writing. You wrote
Yeah,
a book?
yeah.
What's the title?
Practice management for lawyers.
Yeah.
Oh, that was going to be the tagline.
No, that's
no,
actually the
Well,
official
so
title.
nobody, like, I always joke, I teach the stuff they don't teach in law school, but then I do it. The last book for lawyers is from Foonsburg in 84 that talks about fax machines. There's really nothing out there that's relevant.
Fax machines and advertising in the back of Yellow Pages.
Oh, all that stuff. Yeah. So,
God, I wish we still had Yellow Pages.
so it's a
Very
little bit about my background, how I got here. It's about the different levels of lawyer. Like, I'm a startup, I'm established, or I'm trying to retire. And just this, it's always the same issues. It's highest and best use of time. It's, have the right people around you.
But I can't wait to read it. I absolutely will read it.
Yeah, for sure.
We're so happy that you were able to join us today. Thank you so much. I'm still
Thank you
trying
for
to.
having me.
I am trying to figure out though why Rebecca has a blanket. Are you cold?
Are you? Oh, that's
Well,
right.
I'm cold, but also I didn't realize.
Did you knit it? Is this
I
an
did.
napkin
It's
that you
snuggy.
did?
You were
She's like, I
knitting,
knit
weren't you,
this.
for
I knit
therapy?
this.
I love that.
No. So my dress I thought was super cute, but when I saw it on the camera, you can actually all of my girly bits.
Your dress. I couldn't
Like, you
see
know what?
anything. I think you were fine.
Well,
I was
but I
just
could
like,
see it on
are
the
you
wide lens
cold?
up
What are you
there.
doing?
Okay.
Mom already called me out on a few things in one of the recent podcasts, so I thought showing my.
See, I thought this was a podcast.
It is a podcast, but it's on video, and
Also.
moms will
I've seen the
absolutely
videos.
podcast shame your ass in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rebecca! And I'm
My
like,
mom
oh,
may do the
God.
same.
Yeah.
She's like, did you think about this? I was like, okay, listen, you're 80. I love you so much. You're my most favorite human on the planet besides my daughter, but it's not really your thing, man.
Yeah.
And I get it. So
Yeah, so no, I just didn't want to expose
you're conservative. I'm so proud of you.
full lady bets. For
Okay,
the,
well done.
I mean, it may have been good for advertising.
It could have been.
but
It's a PG-13
We could have
show.
had we could have had like a zoom in.
a little
Yeah.
basic instinct.
There you go.
Not safe for teens.
Could you imagine that'd be like?
Oh Jesus, no, we're
Most
not
seen
doing
video
that.
on
No,
YouTube. Yeah, we're not
absolutely
gonna do that.
No.
And I can't be in that.
He's like, I can't
And I don't want to be.
He's
yeah.
like, and I'm leaving.
That's
I'm
Maybe
sorry.
next time.
Yeah.
He's like, that makes me very nervous. But we are so thankful that you gave us some of your time today.
For sure.
You are absolutely, number one, not only a fantastic human being and one of our dearest, most trustworthy friends, but you're phenomenal at what you do. So if anybody would like help with growing their law firm or trying to figure out, certain things like partnership agreements or how to get more cases or how to make your stuff more efficient, Alvaro Arouse. Arouse. 3A Law Management is your guy.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. So thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate it.
And we will be back soon for episode 7. I mean, if we survive another fucking day in Atlanta.
We can do it.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
joining.